Hey everyone, and thanks for tapping into Constant Cadence with Matt. Today I've got a watch that has quickly become my favorite watch for everyday wear. It's super durable, has a really clean and attractive dial, and I actually love the brand. I don't know a whole lot about them. I've owned a Sinn prior, but it was a 556, which I think is an amazing watch, but at 38.5 millimeters, it was just too small for me, and I didn't want to, but I sold it. Anyway, I found a replacement for that, and I couldn't be happier, in case you can't tell. But the replacement that is 40 millimeters and wears just perfectly is the 856. In this case, it is a special edition, and the special part is the red second hand, which is exactly what I loved about my 556. I had the ARS. So this is basically the same thing with a 40 millimeter case, and also it's fully tegimented. So I think the Vickers go from like 400 or 450 with the standard case to like 1200. So much harder. These things, I've seen them 20 years old. They look fantastic even after 20 years. And I personally worked on my boat with this on the weekend after I got it, which was this past weekend. And there are some tiny scratches on the buckle, which you'll see on the clasp, but for the work that I put in, it's remarkable. So I can attest to the fact that these things are super tough. It also has kind of the humidity control module on the side, which I'll talk about during the review. But that's it, the 856. I hope you enjoy the review. I think it's just a great watch, and I think it stacks up with anything for an everyday wear. Maybe not as so much on the formal side or dressy side. I find I don't really wear those kinds of watches, and I have a couple of watches that fit the bill there. Even so, those are a little more on the sporty side. But let's get into the review, and I'll catch up with you afterwards. Okay, here we go. FedEx Day. This package was really well packed, and it's 2-day shipping as standard for the distributor of Sinn in the US, which is WatchBuys. So thank you, WatchBuys. Great communication. They called me, and I received it when I expected it and knew when to expect it. So here's the outer box. I'll go ahead and take care of that. And, nothing special. Nice box. You get a manual. The series has some great UTC complications, etc. My warranty card. You'll see some hex keys. These links are actually held in place by counter-rotating hex keys, which is great. It's very sturdy. So there you go. With stickers, and boom, without. What a beautiful watch. I just love the pop of that red second hand. I love the legibility, and I really like the fact that you get a date at 4 o'clock, and it doesn't interfere with the symmetry or layout of the dial really in any way. But if you need to know the date, or you want to keep track of the date, you got it. It has a diver extension, of course. Everything is fully tegimented. We'll talk about some of the anti-magnetism and some of the humidification or dehumidification technology, but the thing just wears great on the wrist. Much better fit for me than the 556 was. All right, let's take a look at it. Here it is, along with some of the stats. 40 millimeters width, case width, 11 millimeters thick, so it's pretty thin. 200 meters water resistance, which is great. You can do whatever you want with it. And then the workhorse Sellita SW300-1. I think it's just beautiful. The H-Link is really well paired with the simplicity yet uniqueness of the dial. And of course, that red seconds, I'll keep harping on that, but I just love that. And the tegimenting, which makes the overall hardness go from about 2 to 400 to 1200. So it's like 3 times as hard as regular steel with that treatment. You may notice a little coffee bean looking thing above the 6 o'clock, and that is an indicator of anti-magnetism, or the Faraday cage. And they give it a rating of 80,000 amperes per meter. If you're used to Gauss, it's more or less equivalent to 1,000 Gauss, which is great. The incidentally, the hardness scale is Vickers that I'm referring to. And we'll talk a little bit about the links and how those are removed. It's kind of unique, as well as the or dehumidification system that's built. So if we look at the clasp, there's really nothing special about the clasp. It's a stamped clasp. You can see it has some finer adjustment settings to get the size just right. But, it's nice. It's also fully tegimented, and so it's durable. It's got a nice logo on it, and you can see kind of that triangular shape or symbol on the clasp itself, and that is an indication of the tegimenting, which we talked a little bit about previously. So you're getting a tegimented product when you see that from Sinn on there. And then, of course, you've got, here we go, a close-up. You can see really well. And you can also see those little tiny scratches there, right where that tegimenting symbol is. And I'll tell you, man, I was pounding on this thing. I was putting in batteries. I was working in, a pretty hostile environment. And if that's the worst the buckle is going to take, or the clasp is going to take, that is pretty darn good. In this case, I've got the diver extension, unfolded. So you can see how that gives you, if you do dive, it gives you a lot of room. Looking at the case back here, it kind of gives you, the reference number, a little bit about the anti-magnetism and the fact that it's tegimenting, and then we got the water resistance indicated as well. So it is not an exhibition case back, and that is to fully support. There is also inert gas in the case, and then there is copper sulfate that keeps everything dry. It's a little ampule that goes into the side of the case. So I've been doing some macro recording. You can see, just kind of tracking that red second hand. The indices and the numerals and the hands are painted, but they do a really nice job. Like, there is such great contrast, as you can see. And you can see here, made in Germany as well. I think the German watches are just so fantastic. Not to take anything away from Swiss watches, but the painting is great. And the hands are painted black at the center of the dial. So it's almost like they're floating around as they rotate. And I already mentioned briefly the fact that I love that date. And we just moved away from it, but the date is at 4 o'clock, and it doesn't disturb the rest of the watch at all, which I think is great, and they did a good job. So just another quick look. You can see the date there at 4 o'clock. I love that. I love how clean this looks. And then just to put the watch on, it just is such a nice wearing watch. Great dimensions, great durability, great dial. And you can see there's that little module on the case. That is the dehumidification, the copper sulfate plug that will actually remove humidity from the case, which is also filled with inert gas. So really unique watch. The crown is amazing, feels great, and it has rather inobtrusive crown guards. And here's a lumeshot to finish things off. I think it's a great watch. So there you have it, the Sinn 856. I think it's a beautiful watch. It's also highly functional. And let's just take another look at it. There you have it. I just think it looks great. I couldn't be happier. I was sad to see my 556 go, but this is perfect for me. It fits really well. And I'm excited to get to know more of the Sinn lineup. I'm thinking maybe a U1 or a another in that line of dive watch, or maybe a 104, something from that group of the watches. So, but either way, Sinn is a winner. I am thinking about going to Germany and hope to stop by and see Sinn. But I hope you enjoyed the review. I hope you have a great day, and I hope your dial makes you smile.